the opening 2 minutes of the film, I decided to go for a simple title design using Adobe After Effects, rather than a specific title template program. By doing this, the titles are quite simple, yet I believe rather effective. The image that I chose is of a World War II German soldier who I blackened out using Microsoft Word to make him appear just as an outline. I believe this adds to the effect of the film, as the soldier is from World War II, which is the same era as my film. Since the genre of the film is set in Normandy, France in 1944, I needed to film this intro somewhere where there are no modern day objects such as cars and buildings. Luckily, I knew someone who is a keen World War II enthusiast and happened to own a field that is dedicated to reenacting World War II battles. The field is covered with foxholes, remains of trees, a number of trenches, and the odd dummy that doubles up as a dead soldier. Since the film is about World War II US paratroopers, I needed the actors to have appropriate clothing. Luckily for me, the owner of the field that I was using is a keen World War II enthusiast and loves reenacting famous battles that were fought by the 101st Airborne Division in Normandy, France. He also knew about 6 other people who loved to reenact the same battles, and as a result of this, I had the correct costumes that I wanted. For the film, I relied mostly on the camera and tripod to obtain the footage that I wanted. However, due to the rain and bad weather, I also had to rely on an umbrella holder, and this was one of my friends whose job it was to make sure the camera was covered at all times from the rain. And for the majority of the shots, I used a medium height shot, as the actors are usually below me in the trenches. However, for one of the shots, where they run past the camera, I had to get right down into the trench and squat just above a puddle. When they ran past, I did get covered in muddy water, but I got the shot that I wanted. I also filmed a number of close-ups that involved setting the tripod just in front of the main actor and zooming in on his face. I also used a panning shot for the opening scene, where the bodies are littered amongst the felled trees, and this was simple as I just moved the camera from left to right. For the titles, I decided that I would not use a fancy title template program, but decided to make them on my own. During the preliminary task, I had previously used a title template program to make the titles, but for this one, I decided that it would look better and be more rewarding if I made them on my own. I chose to have white lettering on a black background, as this would make the titles look quite simple, yet quite effective, as I believe the smoke adds to the tension and drama of the war film, as it rises from the bottom of the screen to the top. The story follows a soldier who jumped on D-Day with the 101st Airborne Division, and who is the sole survivor of a fierce battle between US paratroopers and German soldiers, and how he is placed with another company and is sent to gain a vital piece of high ground, known simply as Ferme. The story shows the suffering portrayed by both sides, as the farm is fought for, but to no avail. It also shows the carnage and human sacrifice that was a day-to-day occurrence for the soldiers who were fighting to liberate France from Nazi tyranny. The opening sets the story off by showing the viewers the main character, who is a survivor of the previous battle. It also shows him having a brief flashback to the battle that killed his brothers-in-arms and stopped when he opens his eyes and looks out over the carnage. The film would then carry on by him being found by patrol and taken back to Battalion HQ. The genre of the film is suggested by the use of props and clothing that is worn by the actors. They wear US paratrooper clothing from World War II and carry replica weapons such as the M1 Garand and Thompson submachine gun. The opening shows a small group of soldiers involved in a fierce firefight with German soldiers. The main character is introduced just after a panning shot that shows the aftermath of the battle. He is sitting on his own looking out at his fallen comrades, and the other characters are introduced during the main character's flashbacks, where they are involved in a fierce firefight with German troops. And the special effects that I used included smoke for the titles, colour correction for the main footage, muzzle flashes and dirt explosions. These were all added on using Adobe After Effects.